Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of the Unguided Nations podcast. This is episode 4, episode quattro, episode... I don't know how to say 4 in any other languages. Thank you so much for being here. It's so good to be with you all, wherever you are. In a car, on a plane, just walking, sitting around. We're gonna let this song really play out this week, okay? Because here's something fun about this song. This is a song that if you watch the YouTube videos, you know that this is the little bum, 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 bum. That's the intro to every video. I just, I was made a little stock intro for myself to use on every video. I picked this song. I have a subscription to a service called Epidemic Sound, and it's for YouTube creators to be able to pay, it's like Spotify, you pay $15 a month. I have a license for all of these songs to use all over my YouTube channel, wherever I want. Me, being very stupid, this is the Unguided Nations song to me. This is just the song that I use for everything. So I just started throwing it on the podcast, realizing that my license does not expand to everything else that I'm posting this podcast on, iTunes and all that stuff. So I reached out to the lovely folks at Epidemic Sound, and this is not a complaint against them. I love Epidemic Sound. I think they're great. They're a great website, and they have really good music for YouTube creators. Reached out to them and I'm like, hey bros, what up? I pay $15 a month. Can I please also use this on my podcast? And they said, absolutely not. Your legal license and our license with the artist does not cover podcast music beds, but we can do a single track license for you for the year if you'd like, for the low cost of $400 for a year. So I had an option to either go back and pull all these. I don't know. I don't even know what legal trouble I could be in because I'd already published 3 podcast episodes with it on there, and I have no idea. I didn't want to get it pulled or whatever the hell can happen to me. So I was like, fine, I'll do it. And then I was like, does that mean I don't have to pay for the YouTube one anymore? And they're like, no, you have to still pay for the YouTube one. So it's just for this one song, I have to pay, it's like $400 a year. Oh, it was $400 a year for the song, or $500 for any song I wanted to, if I wanted to put other music bed soundtracks and sound effects and all that stuff. So I went with that option. So it's like $450 a year, $500 a year, somewhere around there. Either way, basically, I'm gonna be putting out an episode every single week, and that means that this is costing me like $10 every episode just to have this song as the music bed. I'm gonna start including some wacky sound effects, some hammers, some boinks, some wah, 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 or whatever. I need to get my money's worth because I now have a subscription to use all of these things that I had to pay for. It was very stupid of me. I hope you guys like this song, because that's all we're going to be listening to. I'm just going to play this song for 45 minutes every single week. $10 every single time I use this song. That's insane. Whatever, moving on. Let's see, last time you guys were catching up with me, it was a couple weeks ago. I was going to Angkor Wat. I was, speaking of anger, I was really letting everybody have it, letting the sharing economy and Airbnb. I was really a cranky sourpuss, and I apologize for that. We'll try to make it, not make this the Richie Tolway complaint hour every week. But yeah, I was going to Angkor Wat. I was going to Cambodia, Siem Reap. It was beautiful. I've had a real, I've been really conscientious of like telling people they need to travel. Coming from someone who spent their entire life thinking travel was unattainable. For me, it just wasn't something that was in my like ethos of like things that you're supposed to do as a person to travel and explore. I've been very conscientious of telling people, you have to see this. Oh my God, you have to go here and go there. Because some people don't have the means to travel. It is expensive. You have, I'm getting ready to go back to New York City in a couple weeks, and I'm going to rejoin the rat race where I'm going to be working 18 different jobs to try to eat and just live and have basic means provided for myself. So I get it. It's not fun. I've been just blowing money like an idiot for a long time, and a lot of it. So that was just a preface into saying, oh my God, you have to go to Siem Reap, Cambodia. If it's not on your list of things to see at some point in your life, whether it's after you retire, whether it's a trip you save up for, look into it because it's actually relatively cheap once you get there. Siem Reap, Cambodia, it's really cheap to get around, food's cheap, all that stuff, but it is otherworldly, and it was so incredible. I got there, I had a tuk-tuk pick me up from the airport. If you guys don't know what a tuk-tuk is, it's a motorcycle with the little carriage, a little like rickshaw on the back, so I had a tuk-tuk driver pick me up from the airport. You guys can see the video too, of me going to Cambodia. I have a video out where I was swimming in a waterfall with like some local kids. It was just great. But I had a tuk-tuk pick me up. I was out in this resort in the middle of nowhere. There was just like dirt huts and chickens running around, and it was just amazing. Just so beautiful, like a life-changing week out there. What was very weird is when I was on the tuk-tuk from the airport, I was looking around, and there's been so many times where I'm like, man, I wish my best friend was next to me experiencing this. I wish I wish I had a significant other with me, or whatever, just any friend. It's tough always traveling alone. I've talked about that a little bit. But for some reason, Siem Reap, it just hit me. I was like, there's no one on earth that I would want next to me right now. I'm totally content just being alone and seeing this, and like, it was very out in the middle of nowhere, and I just felt so, I don't know, with myself. It was very cool. I don't know. I don't know what to think about that. Maybe I'm broken. Maybe I've finally broken myself. It's 6 months, and I've become so self-involved that I don't consider anybody else on earth anymore whatsoever. But Siem Reap, Angkor Wat, it's this giant temple. It's like 500 acres, I think. It's something crazy like that, where there's just hundreds of different temples. Probably not hundreds. There are hundreds of acres of land of the Angkor Wat, area. But there's these temples that you just go to. You rent a tuk-tuk for the day. You go around and you just, they're incredible. I didn't film it. I didn't do any filming at the temples. I even hardly took pictures because I just kind of wanted to be present for that. And I know that sounds very icky, even hearing me say it. I want to punch my own self. But it was something beautiful about just being in the presence of something so old and so like massive. It bothered me how many people were there taking photos. That's the thing. When I'm traveling with this camera and I'm doing all these travel vlogs and everything, like I'm self-aware. I don't want to be looking like, a douchebag YouTuber vlogger. I try to be respectful of people. But that's one thing, is like I try to film things that are interesting, that are unique, and that aren't just like covered by everything. And I'm not gonna go to Angkor Wat, like one of the last like modern wonders of the world, and try to film it or document it better than anybody else has already covered it. Like, it's so well covered, National Geographic, and every photographer, every person there is trying to pretend like they're a professional photographer, snapping millions of photos and just not really enjoying it. It was kind of a bummer. The big thing is you go to Angkor Wat at sunrise. Everybody tries to get there at sunrise. It opens at 5 in the morning, and they all crowd around this one corner of this one little pond to try to get the reflection of the temple with the sun rising behind it. And it was like I went there for it because my tour guide was like, you have to go, see a sunrise once at Angkor Wat. So I went to go see how bad it was, and I left my camera in my backpack. I just wanted to enjoy it, but I felt like I was at fucking Coachella or something. I felt like I was at some music festival, like a modern day music festival, because it was just a sea of cell phones. There were like 5,000 people climbing and clamoring and just like destroying. You can see these stones and, the different walls and smaller temples that they're climbing all over to get the angle of the shot. You can see how they're getting worn down from all these people just to get the same photo that everybody's already taken. Like, just Google it. Just Google Angkor Wat sunrise, and you'll see the same photo that you probably weren't even able to capture because there were 5,000 other people taking that every single day. There are millions of that photo out there. You don't need to take it. Just enjoy it. Put the cell phone away. Put the camera away. That's what I did, and that's my stupid preachy thing. But I do think that there are just times, and whenever you feel it, you feel it out, and you're like, I want to share it. Sometimes you want to share it with people. Sometimes you want to, have this unique experience and try to be able to share that with an audience. Sometimes you just need to be there and be present with whatever's going on. And that's what I did in Angkor Wat, which is why you will not see any film from me about the temples of Angkor Wat. Boy, oh boy. I did try to do a lot of running while I was there. I guess I haven't talked about this a lot. I remember in the first episode of the year or whatever, I said I'm going to run the New York City Marathon. And so this is all the brainchild of my insane friend, Austin, who's been in some videos. I've mentioned him, whatever. My friend back in New York City, who I got sober with, he's been running a lot. He's got it just re-addicted to running pretty much. He's where he has a Instagram account at Juul Marathon Training, JUUL_marathon_training, I think it is. Either way, he has this he was like posted this joke that he's gonna run the marathon while juuling and while vaping the entire time, and then like every stupid joke we have, he started taking himself seriously, and he started running a lot. And he was serious about signing up, and then of course he just asked me. He asked like me and another friend of ours. He's like, "You just want to run the marathon?" And my other friend, Emily, she was very smart in saying no. And me, I said yes, of course. So now I'm signed up for the New York City Marathon. I've never run in my life. I've been trying to run for the last like month or so. I'm just like super prone to injuries. I have no idea how to run. I'm starting to watch like form videos and everything, but I am horrible at running. I got up, I did run a 10K. I ran like 7 miles on Christmas Eve back in Arizona, and that was it. And then I haven't run at all. I don't even know what my high school, like you can always look back at your high school time, like when you had to run the mile. Not me. I faked a foot injury my entire freshman year. I like almost failed gym, and I faked a foot injury the entire year. So I never had to run the mile. I just, every time he was like, "Hey, let's go do the makeup mile," and I was like, my foot thing again. Damn. And it's just, I don't even know what I could run it. I mean, I guess it was infinity. I never ran the mile in high school. So I don't even have like a time to compare it to of what I used to be able to do. But I'm just like panicking now. I officially signed up 3 days ago. And then of course, you know, we're running it in November. I think it's like November 3rd. Of this year through New York City, and it's gonna be beautiful because, you know, he and I were like drunk buddies all the time, and then we went to AA together. We became gym buddies, and I think to have a running partner, and we're gonna conquer all 5 boroughs in the city that almost killed us both. I think that's gonna be cathartic as hell, and I'm gonna work really hard to train for it. But we didn't want to train and then not get in. There's 3 ways to get into the New York City Marathon. 1, you can have a qualifying time of like sub 2 hours, like run a marathon in under 2 hours, and they're like, "Yes, please come to our city and run the race." Or you can pay $300 and then you get into a very competitive raffle. And we didn't want to, like, what if we both train, you know, this whole time? Because the drawing isn't till like late, like September or something like that, September, October. What if we train all year long and then only one of us gets in, or neither one of us gets in, or whatever? So there's a third option, and that is you pay $100, you join the New York Race for Kids or something like that. It's a team. It's like the only verified charity that you can register for early. So we pay $100. We're now on this team, and we have pledged each to raise $2,700, and it's to help kids in New York City. So it's a good cause. It's a worthy cause. It's the only cause that they work with. So it's like verifiably great, helps kids in the city. So I'm going to be working and begging for you guys to donate to that coming up soon. And again, it's for a good cause. It's just in my name, and it's so that I can run the New York City Marathon. Mind you, if I do not raise that money, they have my credit card on file. I will be paying $2,700. Bottom line, there's going to be about $3,000 going to kids in New York City, and I'm going to run the fucking marathon in New York City come November, come hell or high water. Now, my buddy Austin, he's been running a lot, like I said. He originally said we were going to do this in 4 hours, in a sub 4 hour marathon, which is about 9 minutes a mile. And now he said that he wants to do it in under 3 hours. So he's clearly insane. I don't know that I'm ever going to be able to get to that level of running sub 3 hours, but we'll see. I'm just fucking terrified. I can't. I'm not a runner. I've never been a runner. I've never been an endurance athlete. I am a heavy lifter. You know, I could, back in the day, I was like deadlifting near 400 pounds all the time, and I was a mover. I could just throw a couch on my back and go up 5 flights of stairs, but I was not like an endurance athlete that like had to focus on form and be in tune with my body. I could just injure myself and take Epsom salt baths and painkillers. That's all I did. So I'm terrified, but hopefully through the next, 7 months or so of training, I will be able to do that. Jesus, every time it really scares me. Really scares me thinking of having to run 26 miles. That's 25 more miles than I've run in my entire life, I think, ever. been dieting like an insane person. I've been trying to like cook. You know, you get into diets and you go like really gung ho. But the thing is, I'm in Thailand. You can't like they don't have regular American diet foods. I guess like they don't have like protein heavy meals or low carb meals. It's all like noodles and shit. So I just like don't even know where to start. I'm just like fasting. I'm just doing like 36-hour fasting where I decide not to eat for a day and a half and then have like one meal. I have no idea. I'm waiting to get back to the States before I can properly I don't know, lose weight, start running, whatever the fuck. Nervous. Anyways, that's a serious thing. I refused for so long to do any sort of fundraising or, you know, I'm not a Patreon guy. I'm not asking for any money for any of the content that I produce, and I'm still not. I still will not be asking you to donate anything to me, but if you would, I'll have a link soon enough. I think in the next couple weeks, I'll have a personal link that you can donate through. Help me raise that goal. Help me hit that goal of fundraising, like $2,700 for kids in New York City, so that I don't have to pay all of that money out of my pocket to run the marathon. But swear to God, I will do it. So whatever. If you don't want to donate, don't donate. I don't care. There's better. There's better. I mean, there's not better causes because like, you know, they're just going to kids. It's not like going to me. It's not so I can run. But if you could help out, that would be cool. I'll stop talking about that now. Let's see, I'm leaving Bangkok in, oh God, like 20 days? I'm recording this on the night I think you're going to be hearing it, so it's the 19th now. I leave Bangkok on the 10th, on or around the 10th. I haven't gotten a flight yet. I'm going through like a really weird transition phase, just because it's like, I came to Bangkok because it's a lot like New York City. It's got the hustle and bustle. It's got the rats and the smells and like all the big city stuff that I'm kind of used to. So while it's been exotic and I've been doing a little bit of traveling from here, I haven't been as crazy as I was in all the other places. I haven't been filming a whole lot. I've been kind of acclimating back to normal life. I've been going to a lot of AA meetings here and getting re-involved in like therapy and just like trying to get back to a sense of normalcy, because I have this like panic of now I have friends and I have a crush on a girl here and I'm like starting a life, but I'm also leaving in 20 days, and then I'm going back to New York City, where did I run away from a lot of things? I don't know. What do I have to face when I get back to New York City? Am I going to go back into starting my whole, you know, old life up again? Like, I don't know what's to. You know, one of the girls that I met in Munich, I met her in Munich. It was Carly and Mariah. They were the two girls that were in the video, actually, in the Oktoberfest videos. They are Canadian and they now live in Australia, but one of them posted this article from Medium. It was just written by a traveler, and it was just kind of, it was a beautiful piece about, like, once you go and you travel solo for so long and you return home, you expect people to notice a change in you, because you are changed. Like, there were hellacious moments where I was without cell service and without a debit card and, like, no money and just like really up a creek and just no way to get a hold of anybody. There's no one to call. There's no one to reach out to. And you just gotta like trudge through shit. And then you see these beautiful things. And I had this experience where I was like, I don't want to be next to anybody. Like, it's you grow as a person, but it's all internal. And it's just this weird stuff where you get this kind of wanderlust. And you want people to notice it, but they don't. And you go back and you're more or less the same person. You have to go back to like this normal life and work schedules and you know, small social events and whatnot. But you want people to notice this change, and they're just not going to. And I think it ended with, you just have to kind of accept that, knowing that eventually you'll leave again. Because once you kind of do this, like a big trip like this, it changes you a bit. It changes you a bit. It makes you a little bit more of a citizen of the world. And I know that I'm not alone in this. I think it's a very United States thing. I know it's a very United States thing because everybody around the world talks about it, how we in the U.S. do not leave the U.S. We think we can see everything inside the United States, so we don't leave. But yeah, it's bizarre. It's bizarre to think about going back to a normal life and starting to like move apartments again and not be running around to different places. I'm just panicking a lot, panicking and trying to get used to being used to things again, rather than having everything new all the time and constant change in my life. So, I don't know. We'll see. I've been doing a lot more meditation. Oh, that's a fun thing. Meditation. That past life regression that I talked about, it's gone. That one recording that I used, I went back. I'm a glutton for pain. I went back and I wanted to hear some more. I wanted to see more dead people or whatever. And I looked for that one, and it's totally gone. And I am savvy, trust me, from a guy who has a YouTube channel, and I'm on that site way too many hours per day. I know how to work it. I know that I can go back through all the history of every video I've ever watched. Like, from the history of time, I can see everything I've ever watched. And that video is not showing up anywhere. And I searched for past life regression. There's a bunch of, like, male speakers. This one was a woman. I have no idea. It's gone. That woman came into my life. She invented 2 or 3 people that I missed dearly, and then the entire recording is gone. And I don't even know if it ever existed. That makes me feel real crazy. That's a quick ticket to make somebody feel crazy, is to put out some shit like a past life regression YouTube video and then delete it. I feel like YouTube should be telling me that, like, hey, it did exist, bro. It's fine. It did exist, but it's gone now. Oh, God, what a nightmare. I can't believe they deleted that. Yeah, but just been doing a lot of meditation. Doing a lot of, like I said, therapy. It's boring. It's boring life stuff, but whatever. My brother came into town. That was cool. My brother's doing a little bit of traveling for his birthday. Shouts out to Brett. He came into Bangkok. It's so funny because he came in. So the flight from the U.S. to Bangkok is like 40 hours, I think. I think your total time you're on a plane is like 26 hours. Or no, I'm sorry. You're on a plane and in airports for like 26 to 30 hours. But then there's also like a 14-hour time difference. So it's like, you disappear for 40 hours and you show up. He had like things planned the next day. And I'm like, dude, you're not going anywhere. You are not doing a single thing for like 3 or 4 days. So like all he did was just get massages and like sleep in and wake up. You land, I don't know, jet lag that extreme. I don't know if you've ever had it, but it is insane. You feel like you slept, you were asleep for a few hours, but you wake up feeling like a zombie. You feel like you're dead all day. But then when you try to go to sleep at night, you're restless again. It's like the worst experience for like 3 days. So he was just chilling a lot. We went and got some massages together. Took him out for his birthday. His birthday's actually on the 21st. So make sure if you follow me on social media or whatever, I don't know, say happy birthday, Brett. My brother's birthday's on February 21st. He's gonna be out at some full moon party on some island. I did not want to go to that because it's like a Westerners thing. There's a full moon party in Thailand. And it has nothing to do with Thailand. It was a bunch of Westerners or Australians or something that were like, they use it as an excuse when the full moon is out, they can go party on the beach because it's brighter. So now they do like a big monthly full moon party, and it's just Westerners. So there's no cultural significance to it whatsoever. It's just an excuse to get drunk and party. I did not want to take part in that. But yeah, we went and got massages. I took him out for a massage for dinner and everything for his birthday. And then we went and got facials. And dude, we went to this Korean facial place, and I have never gotten one before, so it was a new experience in that regard, but it was not fun. It was not fun. It was not a good experience. It's like going to the fucking dentist. It was so bad. They do the scrub. I mean, it's just a lot of gels. They're just applying tons of different gels all over your face and then wiping it off for the most part. But at one point, they do the blackhead extraction. So this chick grabs a comb. I'm also in Thailand with a Korean facial lady. So she's not talking to me. I'm not talking to her. We can't understand each other. But she's doing this comedone thing, which is like, they look like dental tools, pretty much. And she's pushing down on every single pore to extract all the blackheads and everything, and it just felt like a tattoo needle. I have these things over my eyes, I can see bright light shining through it, I'm laying there, nothing is numbed whatsoever, and it just had this tattoo needle on my face. And I've never gotten a tattoo, but I get it now, like why people pass out. She hit just like a few parts. She hit like my chin and one cheek, and then like started on my forehead, and I was gripping the sides of the table for the remainder of that part of the treatment. Like, it was so fucking painful. She's just pushing on. I mean, and I have admittedly like disgusting oily skin. I'm a blackhead treasure trove. If you're into that, I am not. I hate it. I live with it. You can clear them all out. They will be back the next day. So I don't get excited by all like the Dr. Pimple Popper stuff. I had an ex that used to love to like pop pimples. And the thing is, they did this at the facial place too. I go through hell. I literally feel like I'm being accosted. I'm ready to just scream and get up and walk out. Oh, that's what it was. There was steam. They also put steam. So they're like a clothing steamer or whatever. So they're spraying steam on your face. So you're hot and you're wet. And then you have someone stabbing you with tiny little needles all over your face over and over and dragging it and then scraping and all of these horrible things. And it was torture. It was flat out torture. And then at the end, they pull the things off, they remove the steam, and I'm like, my heart rate is like through the roof. I'm so pissed. And then they show you the tissue full of shit they just pulled out of your face. And my ex did that too. They're always like, look at what came out. I don't want to see it. I don't want to see the thing that came out of my body. I don't want to see anything that comes out of my body that's not supposed to come out of there. You know, like, you gotta check. You look at your pee to make sure that you're hydrated. You gotta check when you blow your nose to make sure you're not sick or bleeding or whatever. You have natural places where things come out of your body. Sure, check those, stare at them all you want. I mean, not too long, don't be weird about it. But when things come out of my body unnaturally, if you're removing a tooth, it's dead to me. It's gone. I don't want to see the fucking tooth. If you're pulling shit out of my face, I don't want to see it. I don't need to see it. It's disgusting. I see it all the time. I have to pop zits all the time. We all have to pop zits. It's not fun. I don't. They presented it to me. Ooh, look at this. Look at how disgusting your face is. Look at how long it's been. They're back. All right, it's been 2 days. They're back. I just had to go through and do more housekeeping on these horrible Grand Canyonous zits on my or pores on my face. All right, it's not impressive. If I go through surgery and you remove my appendix, I don't want to see it in the jar. It's gone. It's gone, man. Don't present it. It was so weird. Here, look at this. You go to get your hair cut and they sweep it all up. They're like, look at all what we removed. Just don't do that. It's hell. And also it was really painful. So I went through pain just to see some like brown shit on a paper towel. No, thank you. Ugh, don't do facials. Facials are horrible. I don't even think I looked any different afterwards. At one point, they just slathered a bunch of, like, goo. I don't know. It was like a plastic mask. It ended up turning into this huge plastic mask. And I have no idea what the significance of it was. It didn't, like, rip any pores out. It just hardened into this weird mask, and they pulled it off. I feel like they're gonna, impersonate me now. They're gonna go make a face mold of me. But they left me alone in a room for, like, 15 minutes. I put it up on Instagram. I was laying there for like 10 minutes or so. Just my eyes are covered. My mouth has like some gauze over it. And I'm just laying there and I'm like, it's a 90-minute facial, but you should tell me that 20 of it is me sitting alone in a room after you put a mask over my face. That doesn't make it a 90-minute facial. I want the time after that. But anyways, I put it up on Instagram of me. I was messing with my phone and I was trying to remember like the different strokes. I have an iPhone, so there's no way to like know where the buttons are, but I ended up getting a video of myself and I look insane and terrifying. But yeah, that's the big payoff for that one. Go to Instagram to see me wearing a mask in a bit. But I did at the end of the video, I was like, there could be someone in this room. I realized I'm sitting there like talking to my phone and I've been messing with it and recording like 100 pictures and videos because I keep hitting the wrong buttons, and I'm like, there could totally be someone just sitting in this room on their phone watching me do this and just letting me do that. And then so I turned the phone around and there wasn't. I found out later that there was not anybody in the room. So good news there, guys. That was a lot. That was a lot of stuff we covered. I'm going to try to start doing these a little more like day before, you know. At first I was like, I'm going to record them way in advance. And when they're checkups, like just me talking, you know, maybe not. But if they're like, you know, big travel stories or whatever, and again, I'm going to start getting some guests on. Once I'm back in New York City, place full of comedians and great funny people, and my close friends will have guests on. We'll talk about travel stories, travel horror stories, or, you know, the coolest things that they saw. So that'll be fun. That'll be interesting. Look forward to that. But yeah, otherwise we'll start doing it live. We can report on current events, like the fact that the government is back open. We're so happy to see the government back open, but now we're in a national emergency. So I don't know if I'm coming home. I don't know that I'm ever gonna come home again because there's an emergency at the border, and it's not an emergency at all. It's so stupid. The real emergency at the border is that they require people to have a passport. I remember being like 12 years old. We used to go there all the time and go to Rocky Point for spring break, and then they passed the law that U.S. people need the passport to go down to Mexico, and I was like, we stopped going. That was the end of our spring break vacation as a family. So that's the real emergency. Clear that shit up so we can just have free passage again. That's what needs to be solved. That's the pressing issues. Ooh, this is a dumb one, folks. Anyways, if you guys enjoyed this, go ahead and leave a 5-star review on iTunes. And if you didn't enjoy it, go ahead and leave a 5-star review on iTunes. I don't even know if you can review things on Google Play. If you are listening to this on Google Play, go buy an iPhone. They're really incredible devices. Really, just truly, they've been on the cutting edge for a long time. Actually, they're not on the cutting edge, but all your friends will think you're not a loser anymore if you just stop using an Android phone and you stop having green text bubbles. So if you're listening to this on Google Play, I don't even know if there's a way to review me. If there is, great, do that, please. I would love you for it, and I'll stop making fun of you for using an Android phone. If you're listening to it anywhere else, Spotify, whatever, YouTube, throw a little thumbs up, throw a little, I don't know, comment, share it with somebody. Tag me in a picture of you listening to it, and I'll share it to the other hundreds of people that follow me wherever. I don't know what I'm saying anymore, you guys. Thank you so much. That's been enough of me rambling. That's been episode 4 of the Unguided Nations podcast. I truly love each and every one of you. I appreciate you listening, and I will talk to you next week on another episode of Unguided Nations. I've been your host, Richie Tolway. Thanks so much.